What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on Rangers Central, and this is a little bit of breaking news, even further potentially on the Barclay Goodrow front. I'm not gonna, I don't know when I'm even gonna upload this. I don't know if I'm gonna upload this the night I'm recording, probably, or if I'm gonna do it the next day just to make sure this is 100% real. But as of right now, it looks like, according to Larry Brooks, Barclay Goodrow could be claimed here tomorrow by San Jose, which we would not find out until 2 p.m. So I figured maybe I'll just upload this either way, and if he doesn't get claimed, we'll talk about what could happen. I'll just take down this video. But before we jump into everything, please be sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoy it. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're a Ranger fan, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live. I don't know if I doubled up on anything I said, but all I know is Barclay Goodrow might go back to San Jose Sharks, and I'm not really surprised that a team is potentially claiming him because of the fact that at the end of the day, teams need to reach a cap floor. It happens all the time, and he only has 3 years left, which isn't a lot for a team that, like the San Jose Sharks, intends on sucking for the next 3 years, because even if they're good in 2 years, all right, 1 year left at 3.6, they could just buy that deal out, and then they're done with that deal, or they could view him as a piece to help them in their first time making the playoffs again for the first time in a very long time. But all I know is that it makes sense for both parties here, and it's not a trade, but it seems like a formal agreement considering Chris Shuri and Mike Greer are friends. And that's where I wonder too if there was a trade potentially that the Rangers wanted to make for Barclay Goodrow, and Goodrow denied it because he has that modified no trade clause, and the Rangers said, all right, well, out with you via waivers. And now he might not have a choice but to go back to San Jose. And if you look at what it was here with the Rangers, again, just not what you hoped. Not what you hoped. And I know that, you look at the base 30 points and stuff like that, and then, obviously the 8 points this year in the playoffs was such a huge surprise. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Barclay Goodrow wasn't good this postseason. Like, I'd be naive and be completely... I'm not going to completely dunk on him in that regard. But let's be honest, too, here. There was just not a world where him shooting at 40% was going to be sustainable going forward. And the fact that you could, get out of this contract while you can, while he actually had some sort of value, makes the most sense for the Rangers. And again, I know they're not getting anything in return, but even then, we were talking about the Rangers having to move a draft pick to get out of this contract. The fact that they don't have to do that is a win in my eyes, because, the 6 goals, 2 assists, 8 playoff points could have maybe intrigued San Jose a bit, even though they're intending on sucking. But obviously a familiar face there, where he had his start of his career, had some success there. We know the playoff goal that he scored, of course, against the Vegas Golden Knights, and then he would go on to Tampa, won cups, and then here, with that contract, everyone said, not the best deal. The 6 years was the issue. It was never... Well, actually, no. I should say it was never the AAV, because the Rangers somehow lost on every single front. They lost on trade protection, because there was trade protection there, lost on AAV, and they lost on term. They lost on literally every single facet of this contract, and that's why we're seeing it get moved. If he was even at half the cap hit, he probably would be staying right now. But it's just a situation where it's a business. It's a cap-related business, and the Rangers don't have a choice. So, they look at this contract situation here in San Jose. Like, come on. They're up to 51 million. That's their cap hit right now. They have 36 million in cap space. I think it's safe to say that this report and what Larry Brooks is hearing has legitimacy to it, which that's why I'm doing this video in the first place, because it's someone obviously with legitimate sources and everything. So yeah, that you'll see Barclay Goodrow as their second highest paid forward behind Mikael Granlund, and the only guy that's really locked up to some term outside of Will Smith, who just signed his ELC there, which San Jose's contract has. Barclay Goodrow, though, he'll fit right in terms of the bad contracts there. But again, you look at the PIMs that he took too while he was here, it just wasn't a situation that was working here. It just wasn't a marriage that was meant to be with the Rangers like we thought it was helpful for the Rangers in his first year. The problem was after that, and even towards the end of the first year, we started to see a dip in his play, and it just never ended up being what we thought we were getting here, where we thought, all right, guy played really good with that third line in Tampa Bay. Maybe he could be the driving force of the third line. You get a guy with cup experience, all that other stuff. And again, the contract was never good, but you thought, all right, maybe you could swallow it if they end up making noise with Barclay Goodrow, and it just never came to fruition. And now this is what the roster looks like, which I will move my face cam so you guys can see the cap space situation. They lose every single bit of that contract. They open up all that 3.6. How beautiful to look at this and not see that hideous 3.6 million from Barclay Goodrow in between Heedle and Kako. But that's the roster right now, and I think it's safe to say that this is not a playoff caliber roster, and Chris Drury knows it, and hopefully this is his way of righting his wrongs here, because he has a lot of work to do. He's got to get help on the right wing situation, which I know I mixed up the lines here a bit, but I'm just kind of going in order of what the depth chart was here. But their right wing, very weak, very weak. Center core, honestly, you could live with this center core. Again, the debate with Zibanejad, we could have it all day. Trocheck there, fine. Heedle, fine. You need insurance, though, I think, on the depth chart with Heedle and Edstrom, because no offense to Edstrom, I just don't trust him to be the third line center if Heedle, God forbid, has an injury again, which that is a realistic world given the fact that we know the concussion status with Heedle. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities. They got to get a guy. They can't be spending $3.6 million, though. That's why I said if it was even half, they'd probably keep him around, because you put him on the third line if Heedle goes down. Not the best option, but it's also at least viable, you could say. So they're going to have to address another center spot, and I know that you create a hole by opening one here a bit, but I think that they could find a center to fill out that spot. And then, of course, the wings still have to, and they have 12.8 to address two defensive spots, and who knows, maybe it's another guy in leadership gets moved, and that would be another big thing too, and really be great in terms of, you know, changing up the leadership group a bit here, because now you lose another guy with a letter, which they'll probably just slap the A onto Trocheck, honestly, considering that's just the way this organization is. Just have as many guys with letters as you can, or maybe even Lafreniere gets it. Who the hell knows? But all I know is that now Goudreau's gone, and if they really want to open up cap, there is still two contracts that they could very well potentially have in play to move if they wanted to really go bonkers here. Are they going to do it? I don't know, because again, I don't know Heedle's. I don't know. Like, again, I feel mixed about Heedle, because it would be nice to get out of 4.4, but especially for a guy that could be injured. But at the same time, the upside with him, obviously, guy that could potentially score 20 to 25 goals. And then with Jacob Trouba, though, I mean, if you could get out of that contract, you do it every day of the week, twice on Sunday. So yeah, 12.8 million. Although again, scratches like I mentioned earlier, that could change things. Just call up whoever, and that makes it 11 million. Still not a bad spot, honestly, to work with the cap, considering again, need to address top line right wing, need to address the bottom six, need to address the defense. There's a lot of holes on this roster underratedly, and they cut some dead weight there with someone that just is not getting it done for them at 5v5 in particular. And again, Goudreau, good penalty killer for this team. But if you're paying a guy $3.6 million for leadership and penalty killing, then that's just not a good way to utilize your cap space, because you could find plenty of guys that could do that for a premium. Like, look at Tyler Pitlick. Even though he ended up being waived, he was a guy that was very serviceable on the penalty kill and league minimum, didn't do much otherwise. Jimmy Vesey literally does that for a living. Solid on the PK and gives you some better 5v5 production even than Goudreau. But again, you could find those type of players. That's my point entirely with that. It's not going to be impossible to replace what Barclay Goodrow did, but that is going to be it for me. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. Would love to hear from you guys. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live, and I'll see you guys in the next one.